Bum, bum. Welcome back. It is time for Finn versus TheBest. And starting at the top right is TheBest himself. At the bottom left, though, is Finn. I wasn't sure where the camera was for whatever reason. I'm colorblind. I don't know. Yeah, Finn at the bottom left. Currently teamless as well, in fact. You know, we have a few teamless players playing today.
It's going to be really interesting, by the way, who is going to snatch up all these players. That's going to be the most interesting part in the next few weeks, in my opinion, because we still have a couple of really good players, and Finn is definitely one of them.
Yes.
It might be the day where he will drop out of Code A, but he was in Code S, and he has the potential. He was a great Brood War player, and him being teamless, it just feels weird.
It does feel very weird. But I think he's wearing his teamless badge, if you will, very well. The fact that he has not joined a team absolutely does not mean he has not been approached. He's probably approaching, how he responds very, very carefully.
And that's a problem for him. It's a lot of pressure for him to just win in this game. Of course, for TheBest, it's also a way to prove himself. But for Finn, it's something to just strengthen the position in any kind of discussion that he has with teams about sponsoring him, or just private sponsors, teams, and whatever who's going to approach him. If he just stays in Code A or is able to get into Code S, this is just such a great position for him to actually negotiate. But if he drops out and is suddenly in Code B, that's an entirely different story.
Well, right now, TheBest is going gas first, which is typical TheBest fashion. He can play a macro game, but when he sits in that booth, he usually does not. And TheBest is, he was actually my favorite FOU player. Before FOU was acquisitioned by FX Open, when I watched him play, I was like, I like him the best. Like, no pun intended, but seriously.
That was so bad.
I didn't even mean that. I actually didn't even intend that.
That was horrible.
But I like him. I like him the most. All right, he is my favorite by far. Now his barracks timing here is a little bit off. He actually went all the way to the edge to make it so. Therefore, even though he went gas first, it's so late. His factory, he made it with like 40 gas extra. So.
It's also not going to be any surprise at all to his opponent, because we already have Finn scouting with the SCV, and he knows exactly what's up. He scouts the factory, he knows exactly about the timing, he clicked on the gas, and he is completely aware of what's going to happen here. Finn, on the other hand, is just currently getting his tech lab, and this looks like he's going to go for Reaper expansion at this point in time.
Definitely so.
He knows already that there's going to be a Banshee play, most likely, so he will prepare and will make sure that he is just ready for whatever comes.
Reaper Expand is a little bit scary against Banshee play, but it can be done. With the reactor going down next to the factory, however, I think we may see just reactor Hellion pressure. This is a little bit weird to see these days. It's not popular, but I mean, honestly, what is more popular than reactor Hellions in Korea? I don't know, man. They are like trendier than anything I've ever seen. Like,
you can basically play them against anything. It doesn't have to be Zerg.
You can use them against Protoss these days, man.
Exactly. It was so funny. It was like most of the Terrans now have a problem using the Reactor Factory Hellions against Zerg. So like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? Oh, guess what? I'm just using them against Protoss.
I feel like Reactor Hellions right now are trending like those big sunglasses that girls are still wearing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I thought those would go away. Why do girls still wear those big sunglasses? They don't look good. They don't look good on anybody. Nobody. I don't know what they're called, man, with those big sunglasses that you can buy for cheap on the street and like trick people into thinking they're expensive. No, they're not good. This Reaper is going to get a few kills, and there's nothing TheBest can really do about it if it is micro correctly.
Well, yes, 2 Hellions out,
I take it back.
Only 1 worker killed. He could have done a little bit better here, but in the end, the Hellions would have shut down him anyways. The main thing is now, how is he going to approach this? Because there is not a lot of defense here. He has a few Marines, but that's basically all he's got. And as soon as those 2 additional Hellions are joining the first 2 that are already harassing the depot, it's going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah, he went combat shields first, and this is really interesting. He's making Marauder right now, but
and he needs it.
You know, there's a barracks floating over here. Now that indicates that his backup plan is going to be mech, but it also indicates that he's actually sending it back right now. I thought he was just going to continue to use it for vision, but there's like a turret going up here because he knows the potential is there for for high ground spotters with siege tanks potentially.
It's also the Vikings. He saw the starport earlier. I think when he harassed with a reburster, he knows that there is a potential of a Banshee play coming in.
Yeah.
And therefore, missile turrets are immediately what Finn is resorting to. But at this point, if you just look at the overall supply, TheBest is looking pretty good. Of course, he does not have the expansion, so he has the tech. And that's the main problem. He has to make it count.
That was actually so scary, man. You're right. Is he going to lose his medevac to a turret? Like, you just got to be so careful with that. I mean, TheBest is actually known, thanks to Tastosis, for flying Banshees into turrets, but he's actually making Marauders with his barracks that he had earlier. Wow. I thought he might do that, but I was like, nah. No, he's doing it.
This is going to be really interesting. The longer the game progresses, the better for Finn, because he has this expansion, he has the double mule, he has the potential to build 2 SCVs at a time. But TheBest is going to attack here with a lot of Hellions. He has right now, he has 13 and he's moving in. There are not that many Marauders for his opponent.
These SCVs are dead, man. If he targets them, oh my god. He like locked them all out?
He's pulling the Terminator here. He's going hasta la vista, baby, and sends all of them back home. And that one Marauder that just pops out of the barracks, he's like, yeah, well, I'm on the wrong side of the river right now.
Yeah, well, these Marines can't engage against this many Hellions. The turret goes down.
Finn is just gonna die here.
Yeah, he is. If he targets this Tech Lab, he can stop Stim, but he's going for the depot instead. He can't repair because, well, there's Hellions there. I really think you should get that Tech Lab.
He has SCVs in this mix as well, so TheBest now with a very, very strong attack here. If he just walks up this ramp, that's the one thing that he can't control. He's trying to put his opponent in a bad spot where he has to cluster up his units, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Stim is the only thing that could save him, but look at it. He's killing Stim. Yep. Stim is gone. There's nothing left.
And he couldn't even repair. With that many Hellions there, he just can't repair. He tried for a second. He was like, well, this obviously isn't a good idea. Then he just backed away. That was just unfortunate. And, I mean, you're right. This game is over. He's actually just going to pull his SCVs. There's too many Hellions. The medevac's healing. The Marauders and Marines as well. Nice micro by TheBest.
He's down to 9 SCVs at this point. 8 now. Even with a second mule, that's just something that he can't not come back from. TheBest is just in a glorious position with 25 SCVs. He has 3 medevacs, as he said, and he's just playing all his trump cards now.
Well, in a Marauder versus Marauder fight, the Marauder with medevacs wins. And that's what we're about to witness here.
Words of wisdom.
Look at that. He barely killed that. barely killed that Marauder there. Well, he's got 8 supply left, man. I don't know.
Papa Wolf is going to drop some.
Can I go on a rant for a second? All right, GG. When people, these days, when games are over, people are not leaving games. I understand it's frustrating to lose to TheBest, who is actually the coolest supervillain in all of pro gaming, but people need to leave games. I am actually losing my mind,
I remind you of the happy game. They don't need, that's the reason why people don't leave games.
That's the reason. You know, did you watch, who was it? I believe it was Gumiho playing in Team League against... it was against a Zerg opponent. I don't remember which one. I think it was Shine. And he didn't leave the game for so long, but it was like for the right reasons. And he almost came back. It was the game with the Raven flank. I know you're traveling a lot. You may not have caught it, but it was like, I was like, all right, this is beautiful. He actually is staying in this game because he has a chance. And he thinks he's better than his opponent. His multitasking, based on what he's seen, is like, yeah, I can come back here because he's actually just continuing to throw units away against me. He's like losing control of his mind, and he can't actually focus. Maybe if I just take a few bases, if I build up the right composition, I can win. And he almost did. That is good. When you have 6 supply left and you're still in the game, I don't know what to say. Nobody knows what to say. That's not the way to get a new team for GG. I'm sorry. See if you can beat TheBest this time. The next map is going to be Daybreak.
And we'll find out. He's one map down, and so far TheBest played really a great game. He did a good job, and let's see what he's going to do on map number 2 against former OGS Finn. That's this awkward pause where we...
Yeah, it's like, well, usually the lights are flashing.
Exactly, the lights are flashing. You see the players and everything.